All right, welcome to You Gotta See This Movie Top 5 edition. Today we are going to talk about our top 5 favorite robots in film. And today, with that, we have a special guest, Skylar J. Techbot. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is great. This is going to be a lot of fun.
So I understand you have a YouTube channel. Am I right in saying that?
That is right. I got a web series going on. It's called Far Outpost.
Wow.
And you can find it on YouTube. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. Well, thank you for introducing the topic.
Well, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me. And audience out there, make sure you check out Far Outpost.
Far Outpost.
Leave a comment. Let me know if you like the show. And who's funnier, the tiki guy or me? All right.
All right. Today we're going to talk about our top 5 favorite robots, in film.
From movies.
From movies because, well, they're all over film. And either they're good, they're helpful, or they're evil.
Oh, look at that.
So
Yes,
they can play a bunch of different aspects in a movie. And I and I think that, they're just great to have.
Now, did you include animated ones? Because I didn't. I purposely didn't because it's
Okay.
animated.
So let's talk parameters.
Which we probably should have done this before we did our
Chances
list.
are yes.
Yeah, okay.
But I can make some changes.
Okay.
All right. So there are some robots that so for instance, I probably would have put RoboCop on my list, but I feel like he's not a robot. He's more human.
He's a
than
cyborg.
robot. He's a cyborg,
Definitely a cyborg.
right? So he's out.
Wait, how much of him was still him?
I think it's mostly him.
Is it just his head? Isn't this whole body? Or
there's more. I don't know.
I don't
He's
remember.
probably mostly robot, but I didn't put him.
Okay, right.
I also didn't put like a suit because that's not a robot.
Oh, a suit.
Yeah, so no suit, no half. This is strictly artificial intelligence.
And no, obviously no TV. We're just doing movies.
Correct.
Because there's a lot of
Yes.
TV ones that are kind of cool, but
Right. But no, not today.
okay. Then what about animated?
I think we should put animated. No?
We can.
Okay.
Because there would be in my top 5 a particular robot that would hit the top 5, but I didn't put him in the top 5 because I was thinking, well, it's
Okay.
animated, so it doesn't really count.
All right.
But
Well,
we can still do the animated.
yeah, so we have our top 5, but as we have been studying and looking at our movies and movies that we remember, there are way more than 5 robots that we want to talk about.
Yeah, I
So-
actually thought this was going to be easy, and it's not.
No. And do you want to just dive in first? What's a first honorable mention that you got going on?
Okay, well, my first honorable mention would be the Iron Giant,
Okay.
which he would have definitely been on the top 5 had he be live action mechanical robot. Because
Right.
he's super cool and
He is super cool.
great character, great story, great movie.
Right.
So he falls in my honorable mention. I don't know. What's honorable mention on your end there?
I got a lot. I did, like there are just robots that are like, well, they're like the movie's goofy.
Yeah.
Like I can think of. Have you ever seen Chopping? I know you haven't seen it because it's not a gym movie. But Chopping Mall.
Chopping? No, I have not seen Chopping
Okay.
Mall.
So there's these killbots that replace security guards to guard a mall, and these guys sneak into the mall late at night, and they get into shenanigans, and all of a sudden the killbots malfunction, and they just start killing these people.
All right.
But they look like little tanks, the killbots.
All right. That's kind of cool.
It is kind of.
That's
It was
kinda cool.
a very cheesy horror movie, but
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
one of my honorable mentions is classic sci-fi robot, and that's Gort. From The Day the
Yep.
Earth Stood Still.
that's a good one.
But he's not on my top 5, mostly because he looks like he's made of rubber.
That's true.
You know, his helmet's cool,
Yeah.
the way the visor comes up, and he's tough, and
Mhm.
he's a major character in the film, but he doesn't. I'm not doing top 5 with him just because he looks like he's made of rubber.
Yeah.
It's just painted silver, so it's not that cool.
No.
No.
One of the honorable mentions for me are the Fix-Its. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Fix-It.
The Fix-Its.
Batteries not included?
Yes, batteries not included.
Okay.
Very
Wow.
good. Very cute little flying robots.
See, I didn't even know that name. I just
that
kinda
clean
guessed.
up. I think it's a throwaway line in the movie, but they don't know what to call them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they fix things while you're sleeping, and
That's a bizarre movie. 'Cause
it is.
Didn't they just like manifest? Like, how did they came into being?
They flew in this apartment building that was getting destroyed.
Were they like alien? Like just like
I think they were like
Alien?
aliens,
Oh,
but
okay.
they were robots. Yeah, Jessica Tandy was in it.
Didn't like the robot have like a robot baby?
They did have robot
which
babies.
was kind of weird too.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Batteries not included.
Batteries not included.
Is that a movie you got to see?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen
I'll
it.
have to revisit it. I
Right.
remember the last time I saw it, I was like, oh, this not landing. It's weird.
So there is a movie a robot movie that I would have put on my list, but I watched it recently and I'm like, maybe I don't really care for this robot.
Which one?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah,
Short Circuit, Johnny Five.
Okay.
Because I think my memory and my nostalgia of that movie
Yeah.
was just like, I don't know so much.
Okay, one thing I want to say is we talk about robots,
Mm-hmm.
but then the whole Star Wars universe is droids.
Oh,
Do you consider a droid a robot?
I do.
You do, right?
Of
Yeah,
course.
that makes sense.
Yes.
And then I looked up, well, what's the difference between a droid and a robot? And a droid implies that it has some sort of artificial intelligence that you can like interact with it. A robot is more like a machine.
A tool.
A tool,
Okay.
right? But in the world of movies,
It's a robot.
it's a robot.
Yeah.
Robots are robots.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we dive in or talk about more honorable mentions?
Well,
Maybe those will just come as we talk.
okay.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Well, you're making a funny face. You got a funny honorable?
one thing, I looked this up and I've never even heard of this movie before.
Yeah.
But we were talking about hey, we're going to talk about robots. And we mentioned the fembots.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we're like, where are they from? And we're like, I'm like, I thought, where did you think it was from originally?
Aren't they from the $6 Million Man?
Okay, you thought that. I thought James Bond, but for sure we knew it was from Austin Powers.
It's definitely Austin Powers, but I thought Austin Powers got it from $6 Million Man.
And I thought he got it from James Bond. He didn't get it from neither of those. It is from a movie. And it's called Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine, 1965, Vincent Price. Those are the first versions of the fembots.
No, but in $6 Million Man, there were fembots, right? 'Cause there was like a scene that's in my head where the lady she's showing Steve Austin the facility, and you
And
think
she's a
it's a
robot.
person, and then she takes her face off, which is a big freak out moment. And like, oh yes, we're very impressive. That's got to be $6 Million Man, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, I remember watching that show, but I don't remember that.
Because it was like the Sasquatch era.
Oh. Well, I will
Okay,
say this.
well-
Going back to Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine,
Yeah.
I will say that after this podcast, you watch the trailer, YouTube the trailer. It's kind of hilarious. It's kind of amazing that this movie even became a thing.
Pretty
But-
sure I've seen it. It sounds really familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to research fembots because I'm pretty
Right.
sure it's $6 Million Man.
Okay.
But Austin Powers probably got it from the other movie, the
Who knows?
Bikini. Yeah.
Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine?
Yes, Dr. Gold. Okay.
All right. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
I'm going to go first.
Okay. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Johnny Five.
Oh,
Circuit.
Johnny Five Short Circuit.
Okay, he almost didn't make the list because I don't know, he's just goofy.
Yeah.
But I like the character. I enjoyed his character. And yeah, it's kind of cheesy, but it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What was it about Johnny Five that you didn't like? You bumped him off your list.
I don't know. It just wasn't like. Just as a kid, I just watched that movie and I liked the movie and it's like, no disassemble, but it's just I don't know. It just wasn't.
Didn't hold up.
I guess I wasn't feeling it. Yeah.
Huh.
So.
Too corny. A little corny.
I mean, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the whole night, like the robots. I don't know. I don't know.
Huh.
And I'm not saying he's not a good robot. It's just he didn't make my top 5. He didn't beat out these other ones. So I guess before we go any further,
but he was an honorable mention. Or
for
was
me.
For you, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I guess what were you looking for when you built this list? Because I kind of had specific things.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. I like different robots for different reasons. Like my number one, which I'm not going to say obviously yet, is like the design's absolutely just mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I can't take my face off the screen when he's doing his thing.
Right.
Because it's just so cool.
Okay.
So that's one factor. But then there's personality, which I really like Johnny Five. I like the idea that he's become sentient or now has a deeper meaning as the person he is. He's funny.
Right.
Wants input. You know, kind of interact with people. I don't know. I just kind of connected with that. I guess a lot. And the only reason that he probably I almost didn't put him on my list is the design aspect of him, which I didn't really think that was all that great. I mean, he's full functioning, like the tank treads, that makes sense. And the way his body's put together, that makes sense for what he was built to do. But as far as the design, it's not like cool. Like, that's a cool looking robot. I don't know. Different reasons, different robots for different reasons.
You know, it's funny. Like you just mentioned Johnny Five. I just totally had a memory that I can remember me and my friends after seeing that movie decided that we could make a robot in our, like his dad's garage. And we just started like taking things apart, not knowing anything.
Yeah.
And then you realize it's hard to build a robot. It's not easy. Yeah. But I can remember like getting things in and then getting an arm, just like a bolt, to almost like a shoulder arm action.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, look at he's forming, but then you realize, oh, but he's not going to move on his own. This is kind of lame.
Yeah.
We kind of lost interest.
Yeah, the thing that kind of turns me off on like movie robots is if they have like an arm and it's a joint that there's no way possible that arm can move.
Oh, okay.
There's no like servo, gears, pneumatic rods that somehow it just magically moves from one position to the next without any kind of internal structure.
Right.
That's always kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Well, I will say when I made my list, there were kind of 3 things. One was the look.
Okay.
The look of it. Does it look cool? The second thing was, would I want this robot? Like, would I want this robot in my life as a friend, as a confidant, as a teacher, all sorts of things. And the other one is the impression it made on me. And that leads me to my number 5.
Okay.
Is the bad guy from RoboCop, Ed 209. The big old tank robot thing that just blew away a guy in the beginning.
Now, was that okay?
So when I think like impressive look, because I always thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
It's like this 2 mini gun tank thing. I mean, it kind of got beat up by RoboCop pretty quickly, but I always thought like how crazy would that be? Because the whole idea of that movie were to get robots patrolling the streets. And how crazy would be to see this thing like just walking.
It's just like a walking tank.
It's like a walking tank just patrolling down the street. Yeah. And then as a kid, the first time I ever saw RoboCop, and if anyone's ever seen RoboCop, and I think a lot of people my age, when we first saw that movie, we had no idea how bloody that movie was.
Yeah.
And you find out in that scene when Ed 209 blows away the guy who's like, hey, point the gun at Ed 209, and then say, okay, now drop it. But he's like, still thinks he's a threat.
Yeah.
Just wipes him out with those guns and blood everywhere. As a kid, I thought that was kind of awesome.
It's a tough robot.
And I remember like looking around like, I'm going to get in trouble watching this movie. But yeah, so Ed 209 was my number 5. I just thought it was really cool.
Man, he is like the polar opposite of Johnny Five.
Yeah, exactly.
If they met on the street, Johnny Five would say, "Hey, buddy."
And no,
how's it going? Having a good day?
Just destroy him.
Yeah.
Because I think that goes to more what you were saying about droids and robots, where Ed 209 is probably more on the robot side.
Yeah.
And more of a tool
Yeah.
than a free thinking robot.
Artificial intelligent type
Right.
character.
So
Yeah.
Ed 209.
Ed
RoboCop.
209. RoboCop. Let's see. Number 4. Okay, number 4 is there's 3 of them, but I consider them as one. And that's Huey, Dewey, and Louie. They didn't call them robots. They were called drones on the movie Silent Running.
Oh.
Do you remember those? They were kind of triangular shape with the 2 little
Silent
legs.
Running, that's a movie.
The triangular legs, and they were just like little machines, service bots.
That's what the guy from The Burbs. I can't think of his name right now. The actor.
Bruce
Dern.
Bruce Dern.
Bruce Dern.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So they were like his buddies. He's on the ship by himself. They're kind of like the R2D2s.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, you know.
Yeah, those are good robots.
They're a great design. Pretty cool looking too. Yeah. Those are ones that I think that that's what a great design.
Right.
Fun little characters. Yeah.
All right. My number 4 is Max from Flight of the Navigator. I think that's what that piece is from, right?
Yeah, that is actually from Flight of the Navigator.
Max from Flight of the Navigator. Voiced by
Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman.
You know, I saw him when I pulled up a list of robots, and I was like, well, is he really a robot? But I guess but he's attached to the ship. Or is he the ship?
He's a robotic ship because he could be on his own and do his own thing. He doesn't need to be controlled by anybody. He doesn't need to be controlled by the navigator.
But he's tethered.
That's the navigator.
He's tethered by the ship, though, right?
But I think he is the ship.
Yeah.
So I think he is a ship, but he's also a robot.
Interesting. All right, I buy that.
Yeah.
All right.
But he is the ship.
Now, you like him, but you didn't like Johnny Five? I mean, talk about silly and corny. I mean.
Yeah. But compliance.
But there's just something.
I just like the,
Yeah. But no, that's cool. I mean, you connected with that character. That's cool.
The eyeball and the.
Yeah. It's cool.
Max, Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah. Max. What was that? That was your number 4?
Yep.
No, number 4. All right. Number 3. All right. Number 3 is from a film, 1979, The Black Hole.
Oh, okay.
Vincent, the floating orb robot thing. I always liked
I have not seen this movie.
Oh, you haven't seen The Black Hole?
So do a good job trying to sell me on Vincent.
You've probably seen him. So he's this ball shape, and he's got these 2 orbs as legs, but they almost act as these balancing sort of things that kind of help him navigate. Little head that pops up. It's just a really neat design. And when he goes to the outside of the ship, the balls connect magnetically to the ship. It's almost like it's rolling along it.
Oh, okay.
The design's really cool. The finish work is really lame. I think that's one of the things about the movie that I didn't like.
I can just look it up right now.
Yeah, look up Vincent. He's got this texture on him that makes him look like he's plastic. So I'm willing to overlook that because the design's really cool. The eyes are kind of goofy, but I just like the character design.
Oh, I see. Got the eyes.
Yeah.
The VIN.scent.
Yeah. Vincent.
Okay. He's kind of cool looking. Yeah.
He's cool looking.
I like that.
Yeah. I think he's it's weird. All the robots and the characters in the movie are kind of cool, but the finish work is just really awful. They should have taken it one step further, or just got a different scenic person to paint them, because some of those characters look like they were painted with spray cans. But yeah, I always liked Vincent. I always liked the balancing orbs that he has, and the way his head can retract, and
that's cool.
It's cool.
All right. Well, my number 3 is a robot from 2 movies and fits 2 of my criteria.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the T-800 from Terminator. 1 from Terminator, the first Terminator, just like when he's chasing Sarah Connor and his skin's all off and he's just a robot.
Robot as a as a stop motion animated
Yes.
character, which
he looks awesome.
he looks awesome.
I like the way
Yeah.
that looks, just like the skull
Yeah.
and the chromed out,
Yeah.
and even like the scenes in the future. But then also at the same time, if you go to T2, it'd be cool to be with you, to be a friend.
Oh, that's true.
You know,
He's either your nightmare or your
he's
buddy.
either your nightmare or your buddy.
your buddy.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he wouldn't be considered a cyborg because it's really not. It's not part human, part robot. It's like
He's all robot.
he's
all
all
metal.
robot. He just has a human type like
Yeah,
skin.
they said, I forgot what it is. It's like something. It's artificial skin.
It's
and
artificial.
blood.
Yeah, it's not like they started
Yeah.
with human.
And he is free thinking on to complete a mission.
Yeah.
So he can't control the mission that he has to do, but he's free thinking on how to complete the mission.
Mm.
So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I like how you put that. Yeah, he's either your nightmare or he's your
buddy. Yeah.
Take you. Yeah, he'll either just shoot you in the face or he'll take you on a motorcycle ride. One of the two.
One of the two. You never know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 2 is Robbie the Robot. Probably one of the most famous robots in cinematic history.
One of them.
One of them.
Right.
Right. Forbidden Planet.
Mm-hmm.
And that was 1956. The only thing about Robbie that's kind of weird is he walks kind of funny. He
Yeah, I don't know why he waddles.
Yeah, I mean, his arms don't really have a lot of good action and everything, but the design's great. But yeah, it's just classic, iconic Robbie the Robot. And I always get him confused with the Lost in Space robot.
Yes, I do too.
Yeah, but that's definitely a completely different character.
Right.
Yeah. And it's TV.
And it's TV.
Yeah. Now, Robbie the Robot was used in several sci-fi movies, from what I understand, but I didn't take the time to look it up. I know he was on a Twilight Zone episode. They used
You're
him for
right.
that.
I did. Yeah, he was like a model that was constantly used.
Yeah. And I know Forbidden Planet. I'm pretty sure there was another film that he was in too. But he's made appearances. I guess they wanted to get their money's worth.
Right.
He was probably really expensive to make.
Spent so much for this robot.
Yeah, why can we use him? Yeah.
All right, my number 2 is Iron Giant, and number 1, number 2 are pretty close, but number 2 was definitely Iron Giant. And yeah, I mean, we've talked about. We have the Iron Giant episode.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out. Love that movie, and just like a boy, like finding a robot. It's like every young boy's dream, right?
Yeah.
Like just be exploring. All of a sudden, you just come across a robot, and then he's your friend.
Well, it's
Like,
kind of
that's
like
awesome.
he's kind of like the Terminator. You know,
Right.
He's either a nightmare, but he got bonked in the head, and now he's your buddy.
And he's a giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He's huge.
he's learning things as well. Learning things about the world, but he's a hero at the end. He wants to be. I love how he loves Superman. He wants to be Superman.
Yeah.
He's choosing to be a good robot versus
A weapon.
basically what he was supposed to be made. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, no, Iron Giant's cool.
Such a great movie. I said this before that I would love to see a live action
Yeah,
shot for shot. You can't change the script. You can't change the scenes. Just a live action version of that movie, because I just want to see him.
you just want to see what that looks like.
I want to see what it looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all for
Because there's
it.
so many like really cool scenes in that film.
You kind of see it in Ready Player One, kind of,
Oh yeah.
because no matter what, it's going to be CGI, right? So,
that shot where when they're looking over the cliff and he realizes he can fly and he comes up. Basically like past the camera going up. It's just like, it was such a cool shot.
right.
Yeah.
No, that was good.
Yeah. Well, before we do number 1, I have some honorable mentions.
Okay.
More to mention, because the Star Wars universe is huge, vast,
Too vast.
too vast to even pick a droid. But I have 3 droids from Star Wars as honorable mentions, which just always stuck out to me and I really liked. Okay, I got 3. So K2SO.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's a cool design, and I like the character. He's awesome.
Did you watch the new Andor season?
I have not.
Okay.
Is he in that? Doing his thing?
I don't know. I haven't started it yet because I wanted all of them to come out and then I'm
Yeah.
going to watch them.
Uh-huh.
But I'm hearing that it's like the best Star Wars ever written since the originals.
Yeah.
So everyone's saying it's really good. And I think he's in it. Yes.
Oh, okay. See, he would be like if I collected action figures, I'd have him as an action figure.
Oh, okay.
He's cool, right?
All right.
My second Star Wars is the Power Droid or Gonk Droid.
Bonk.
I don't know why. I just really take a liking to that
Right.
box with the two
Gonk.
legs.
Yeah.
And if I could pull it off for a Halloween costume, but it wouldn't work because I'd be too tall, I think it'd be great.
I was a robot for Halloween.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was a gold robot. I didn't say I wanted to be C-3PO,
Yeah.
but I was kind of gold, but it was a box and I kind of looked like Gonk, but I had arms and a head.
All right. Well, that's cool.
And I can remember having my dad's shop vac was my R2D2. And I would like
nice.
pull that around with me.
That's cool. You got a picture of that? That'd be
I
awesome.
do have a picture
Oh, you
of
do?
that.
All
yeah.
right. Oh, that's cool. All right. And my number one Star Wars universe is the Imperial Probe Droid.
Oh.
I don't know why.
The big old shot? Big old shot at the end? No, I'm thinking about the Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back, where he comes up out of the
Yes.
snow. Just the shape of the head and the different things and the legs.
And the eyes.
Yeah, which inspired me. This guy.
No way.
Yeah.
That was an inspiration?
That was an inspiration for this guy because I mean, look at his head.
Okay.
And he's got the little.
Yeah,
See,
I can totally see it now.
You seeing it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that Imperial Probe Droid was the inspiration for this guy.
Wow, that's pretty good.
The other inspiration, he's a mix, is Pepe from the Muppets. You see the mouth?
Yeah.
So if Pepe from
Actually,
the Muppets,
I've always thought that.
Pepe and the Imperial. If Pepe and the Imperial Probe Droid got together, there you go.
That's funny.
All right. So anyway, that's
wow. Never knew that. That's pretty good.
That's my Star Wars honorable mentions.
Okay.
All right. And I think I'll leave that for honorable mentions. Any other ones before we do the number one?
For my honorable mentions, I got a couple more. Don't know why. Almost like what you like. I just thought they were kind of unique robots that you don't see in movies, but they're also. I understand why people wouldn't like them, but is Tars and Case from Interstellar?
Oh yeah.
Like, there's just something about them that's like, oh, that's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's also kind of weird.
It's a box.
It's a box. But then when they start moving in the water and like chasing people, like they're fully functional.
It's almost like the engineers got together and said, this shape can do everything it needs to do.
Right.
And you're thinking, no, it can't. It's like, no, yes, it
can.
can. And sure enough, the thing comes in the thing and he can move.
Yeah.
All right.
So I like Tars and Case. Another one from my childhood, Jet Jaguar. Probably don't know who he is.
Jet Jaguar.
Oh, you do know.
It's a song,
a song from Godzilla.
I can't even picture what he looks like.
Jaguar.
I know the song, but I don't know what he looks like.
He's a robot that he teamed up with Godzilla. I guess they had this whole plan to make a Jet Jaguar movie, and they brought in Godzilla as in to draw the audience.
Uh-huh.
But then that was it. Never saw him again.
Dang.
But he was like a robot that can be small, like the size of a man. And like he puts the little kid on his shoulders.
He gets
and
big,
he like
right?
walks
He
him,
grows,
and then,
grows inside. Yeah.
And then he grows in size and fights monsters.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow. I can barely picture him, but I know the song.
And another one, this isn't a robot, but it's a robot movie. And I felt like I couldn't skip this. But have you ever heard of Deadly Friend?
No. Deadly Friend?
I wouldn't think so. It's a movie about a boy who makes a robot. He moves into a neighborhood. He meets a girl played by Chrissy Swanson. She has an abusive, drunk dad. No one likes this robot. The robot like protects the guy who he built. The guy built the robot. The robot name's BB protects the guy from gang members. But then the robot like wanders into an old lady's house, which the old lady is can't think of her name, but the old lady from Goonies. You know her?
The old lady from Goonies.
The lady,
Anne Ramsey.
Anne Ramsey.
Yeah.
She's played by Anne Ramsey.
Wait, paint me a picture of what this guy looks like.
Well, it's like yellow. It's just like a robot. but it doesn't stay the robot because what happens is Anne Ramsey blows it away with a shotgun.
Oh, I can see that.
Destroys it. And then he's sad, loses his robot. At the same time, the girl that he's kind of in love with, the dad gets drunk, pushes the girl down the stairs. She's in a coma. And you see where this is going?
Oh no, this isn't good.
He then puts the microchip of the robot to save the girl because the microchip he built is human compatible.
Right.
Puts it into the girl's brain, but the robot takes over the girl and realizes, oh, now I can do things. And you know what that robot does? Goes back to that old lady's house, gets a basketball. You should look this up on YouTube. It's fantastic. And just chucks it at this lady's face. Her head just explodes.
Wow.
And then the deadly friend, man, Wes Craven.
So the kid's robot girlfriend
becomes a killer robot.
Becomes a killer.
But then it's the girl. You're not really until the very end when she rips off her face and it's like a robot face.
But that doesn't work.
It's a wild movie.
That's wild. Fantastic. And once again, it's the robot is either your nightmare or your buddy.
Your nightmare and your buddy. And in that movie, it was both. Wow. Starts out as a buddy, and then becomes a nightmare.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Deadly friend.
Deadly friend.
All right. So my number one. Wait, did you say your number one?
I haven't.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
My number one is based on design. It's the coolest design robot I have ever seen. Kind of artfully designed, which is super cool. His movement is killer because he doesn't move like a robot. He gets up and moves and causes trouble. And his tenacity is just over the top. You probably have no idea.
No?
Yeah, I don't think he has a name. He's a robot from Zathura.
Oh,
that's like the coolest looking robot ever. And when he comes on the scene,
he's running down the hall.
He's like,
ding, ding, ding,
big body and the legs and everything about him, the head, the legs, the arms, all the joints look like they'd really work.
Yeah,
and he's just tenacious.
That is a pretty cool robot.
And at one point he shoots rockets out his feet and takes off, and the rocket out the back of him and just goes flying through, and he's nonstop.
Yeah,
and you think he's gone, and he comes back later. The saw blade hands. But his movements are really cool.
That was
because
cool
like when he's running, he's got weight and he's like booking it and just tearing through things and he's after you.
Yeah,
tenacious.
No, that's a good one.
I've been wanting to get him as a figure.
That would be
figurine just to have because
I don't think I've ever seen that
as an art piece. He's just super cool.
3D print that.
You could 3D print that.
Someone could.
You could. Well, someone. But anyways, that's my number one, and really just has to do with design.
Yeah.
Visual design. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my number one, pretty simple. And this is kind of like where Iron Giant didn't kind of miss the mark. So I think this robot looks cool. I wish I had this robot and it made a lasting impression on me. Whereas Iron Giant I saw Iron Giant later on in life where this robot was the very first robot I think I ever saw in film. And you could probably guess what it is. R2-D2.
Yeah, I was going to say
yeah.
R2. Yeah.
Love that little crazy droid. He's wacky. He's got an attitude.
His beeps and chirps.
He beeps and chirps.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like in those beeps and chirps, you could see a personality.
Yeah, you kind of know what he's saying.
You can kind of do,
you kind of interpret what he's saying. Yeah,
the actor's always kind of like, no, I'm not gonna blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
but yeah, and I think he looks cool. It's that blue, silver chrome. Yeah. So I've always been a big fan of R2-D2. He's always been my number one robot
droid
of all time.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. And he saved all those people from being smashed in a trash compactor,
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's never your nightmare. He's just your buddy.
Nope.
Was he ever anybody's nightmare? I don't think he ever was.
He gives C-3PO some. If he was able to have ulcers, I think C-3PO would.
Yeah.
But you go back to that scene with those two robots and how they're disagreeing with each other on which way to go. Which is just interesting. Like when you think about it, they're two droids.
Yeah.
they're having a disagreement.
Shouldn't they come to the same?
Shouldn't, as these robots, think of like what is the best, most concise way? Like if a human was there and asking them, "Hey, what's the best way?" These both robots are gonna be like this way, and then you're gonna be like, "Well, this sucks." I don't know who to believe.
Well, and I think that's the whole thing with the droid being a artificial intelligent person that's going to come up with different ideas.
Yeah.
Things, yeah. Hey, before we wrap this up, I'd really like to hear what sound guy Joel's top 5 is. And the reason why is during this whole conversation, he's been making faces over there.
Okay.
Facial comments on our picks. So I want to hear what his picks are.
All right, so I came up with a list. I did a top 10 just to like really see where all my favorites land out. The fact that you didn't put Iron Giant on your list is criminal.
I was just in the real world of movies, not the animated world. I'm sorry.
All of these robots don't exist in the real world, so my number 1.
I know what you meant.
I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
Is Iron Giant. He's huge. He's awesome. He wants to be a good guy, but boy, could he mess stuff up if he needed to. He's the best. My number 2 is Tars. It's such an unassuming design, but then when you see him moving, it's incredible to see what he can do. And my number 3 is K2.
Oh, well, there we go. So we share that one. I mean, he's not in my top 5, but we do share as a. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My number 4 is Adam from Real Steel. Which
I still didn't care for that movie.
The movie isn't super great, but it's robots fighting each other boxing style, which is just cool. And I like the idea that this robot who isn't meant for fighting but ends up being incredibly good at it because he can take a punch. And then my number 5, which I don't know if either of you guys have seen this, but it's Jeff from a movie called Finch.
Yeah.
That's that
Tom
he's
Hanks.
like the robot that helps the old man, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh. I'll have to look that up.
It's a good movie. And Jeff is hilarious.
Oh,
So that's my top 5.
nice.
So what were the faces you were making? Like what were the picks that you were like, Pah.
Well, when I didn't do the Iron Giant, there was a protest face.
I was steamed about that.
To be honest with you, I thought that was gonna be on your list too.
I don't know. It's like when I
I
do
thought
the
for
list,
sure the ones I thought we were gonna cross were R2 and Iron Giant.
Yeah,
I thought those were the two that
he was on the list, but then I just kept going back to real world
Yeah.
characters. I don't know.
Real world?
real as in REEL.
Not drawn, not cartoon.
Yeah.
Not cartoon robot.
All right. Well, that's the beauty of these lists because these lists are that's your list.
It's
this
my
is my
list.
list. That's
Yeah.
his list.
We're not saying they're right or wrong. They're just
It's just what we like.
mm-hmm.
So that's the beauty about movies and characters and all these things. So, all right. Well, thanks for tuning in for this top 5. Let us know what your top 5 or what your favorite robot droid was your favorite. Let us know. And let us know if Jim blew it by not putting Iron Giant on his list. Let us know. All right. Make sure you check out Far Outpost. See you in the next one.